everyone, welcome to Nerdy Bookarazi, and this is Meenu. So today I've decided to have some natural lighting over here, and so as a result you might be hearing some noises from the birds and some reconstruction and the cycles. So please try to make peace with it just like I have learned to. So let's get into the video. So today I am going to talk about the book haul that I did. Not very recently, but I think a month or so back. So right now I'm in a very strict book ban because I went too overboard and bought so many books. So not buying books is very frustrating for me, so I cannot actually make myself not buy books. So that's why I've decided to flaunt about the books that I've bought in the recent time, which has made me go on this book ban. So in this video I'll be talking about the 7 books that I bought in Book Chor. So I think I got all these books for around some 400 to 500 rupees. So if you don't know what Book Chor is, so Book Chor is a platform where you can buy used books at a very cheaper price. So I always prefer buying books on Book Chor because even though the book is old and it's been pre-loved, the quality of the book is seriously very nice, and it's very economic. You could buy a lot of books, and I actually like the idea of pre-loved books because there is someone who has bought that book, who has read that book, they have loved it, enjoyed it, and they want somebody else to also enjoy the book. So they have given it to the universe and it's making its round, and I like the idea of getting these old books, and they have this special aura and special significance to it. So one of the best things about this Book Chor is you get these personalized notes which are very, very interesting to read. So they have told me in this package that, "Hello Meenu, stay on this road longer and it will only end in books. Lots of books, thank you for believing in us." So you get all these personalized notes, and it's one of the best things about Book Chor. So the first book on the list is Runaway Writers by Indu Balachandran. So you can understand why I picked up this book in the first place. It's called Runaway Writers, and what else do I need to pick up this book? So I was very much interested with the title itself, so I read the blurb and it was even more interesting. So this book is about 3 women who are very much into writing. So they are working in different fields. So one woman is working in a corporate, one woman is working as a marketer in an advertising agency, and one woman is a children's book writer, and all of them have the desire to become a writer in their very own way. So they decide to go on this writing course which is happening in Greece, specifically Santorini. So come on, this book is about 3 girls and it's about writing. They are going on a writing trip and they are going to Santorini. So what is there not to love about this book? So I already know that I'm going to love this book, and Anuja Chauhan has also given a good testimony about this book. So I feel like it is going to be great, and I can bet my life on Anuja Chauhan. So yeah. So the next book on the list is Unforeseen Desires by Anil Chopra, and Ruskin Bond has written the foreword for this book. So this book is happening when the emergency was at its peak in the 1970s, and so it's about a young medical intern called Arun who finds himself in a lot of trouble by losing his senior doctor's wedding rings, and then he finds this beautiful house and he decides to rent a portion in it, and this house is owned by an older English woman called Victoria who has decided to make India her home. So they develop this very beautiful and unlikely friendship over their shared meals, over a game of Scrabble, and after they have developed a good friendship and relationship, Victoria decides to help Arun by giving compensation for the rings that he has lost and also help him find a job. Once Arun feels like every problem in his life has been sorted out, the government in the country changes, and now Victoria and Arun has to make a decision like whether they can stay in the country or they'll have to leave the country. So this is the story of this book. So I hope it will be nice, and I'm looking forward to read this unlikely combination between this older English woman and this young man. So I hope it'll be nice. So the next book on the list would be Man of Her Match by Sakshama Puri Dariwal. So I hope I'm pronouncing the author's name properly. So one of the main reasons why I decided to pick up this book was it had a bat, it had a ball, and it says Man of the Match. I'm sorry, Man of Her Match. So this is about a cricketer who is not having the best time of his life because he is not performing very well in his matches. So he decides to rebuild his image and he needs someone to help him out with, and he finds this advertising agent. But unfortunately, this advertising agent happens to be his childhood friend with whom he has a very bad history. But this girl, she decides to put back their enmity behind them and be more professional. But while working with each other, they find this spark, and so will they actually keep their enmity alive, or will they give themselves a chance? So that's the story of this book. So the next book on the list is A Girl Like That by Thanas Bathena. So I have heard a lot and lots of things about this book. Like, people have been telling it was very emotional and they have cried while reading this book. So I have a lot of expectations for this book. So this book is about a 16-year-old girl who is an orphan, and she is outspoken and straightforward and a risk taker. So she's basically a kind of girl that parents do not want their kids to be associated with. So this 16-year-old girl is one day found dead on a car along with an 18-year-old boy. So the religious police in Saudi Arabia, they come up with all sorts of stories about her and her character, and then it is found out this girl is completely different than what they have presumed her to be. So that's the story of this book. So I really hope that this book will be really nice and I get to like it as much as others loved it. So the next book on the list would be Stillborn Season by Radhika Oproi. So this book is about the Sikh massacre which happened in 1980s right after the assassination of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. So it is one of the darkest episodes to have happened in India, and I can already feel like this book is going to be very emotional and it's going to be very spectacular as well. So yeah, first of all, while looking at this cover, I thought this book was having some cyclone or a twister on it, but then I found it was a taxi which is burning. So it's kind of really deep. I feel like this book is going to be great. So the next book on the list would be The Legends of Virenara. I hope I'm pronouncing it properly. So this book is written by Usha Alexander. So this book is about King Vijay, who ruled the southern part of India in 120 CE. So this book also focuses on the story and life of his sister Shanti, I presume. And so this book talks about King Vijay's rule, his politics and his kingdom and war and peace and stuff like that. And I heard it was adventurous and thrilling. I actually picked up this book because I heard a lot of good things about this book, and I found a lot of people buying and reading this book. So I really hope it will be nice. I generally like books which are historic in nature. I think it's a historic fiction. I do not know whether it's a mythology as well. So I'll read it and I will let you know about it. I hope I love this book as well. So the last but not the least, it's Anant Neelakandan's Vanira. So this book is about Bali, Shukriba and Tara. So through this book, Anant Neelakandan has given voice to Bali, who has been villainized in the epic. And Bali has always been considered as one of the strongest warriors in Ramayana. So this is the only book that I have not read by Anant Neelakandan, and I'm really looking forward to read this book. So it's not really like all the books in Book Chor are really old. So if you have noticed, so these two books are like really very new. It has a cover, so I think it's pretty noticeable over here. So I have been kind of lucky with Book Chor more than once. So I usually get at least one new book from Book Chor. So that's one of the best things about them. And you can also look at the qualities of this book. So you see, the book is like as good as new. I think maybe only one person would have read these books, and it's like seriously very good. And see, look at it, it's like very new, literally very new. So the only book that is quite old is The Legend of Virenara. so you can see the edges and all. I think the ex-owner of this book really loved it and read it more than once, I presume. But ironically, this book has been published only in 2018, so I guess they love this book very much. That's why it is in this condition. So other than this book, all the other books are quite new, and I'm so very happy about the conditions of these books. So these are the 7 books that I bought on Book Chor. So I really hope I'll get to read them in the nearest future. And so that's all for today's video. If you had liked the video, please do like, share, comment, subscribe to Naughty Bookarazi. And also don't forget to click on the bell icon over there so that you could get notified whenever I post a video. So until then, bye bye, take care.